What's up, everyone, out in the World Wide Web? Today we are talking about The Last Jedi and death by MacGuffins. I hope you all had great Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a good Cyber Monday, and I hope you survived the experience. Thank you for joining us today here at Tatooine, the birthplace of this topic. Almost all of us have seen issues with Star Wars The Last Jedi, but there's one particular sequence that gets on everyone's nerves. This sequence right here. I'm calling it Finn's Grand Adventure. While the rest of the movie can be debated, I think most of us can agree that this sequence is completely unnecessary and actually ruined the movie. I mean, let's break down the major plot points for Finn, who was the major character in this sequence. First, after narrowly escaping the First Order, the Resistance drops out of hyperspeed, having running out of hyperfuel. Next, they find out that they have been tracked.
Can we jump to light speed?
We have enough fuel resources for just one jump.
Well, then do it. We gotta get out of here.
Wait. They've tracked us through light speed.
That's impossible.
Yes. And they've done it.
Third, Finn and Rose go to the gambling planet Canto Bight to find the master Codebreaker who can disable the tracker. They then find someone who supposedly can disable the tracker, but they get captured. Twice.
Codebreaker? Thief? I can do it.
We're not talking about picking pockets, okay?
Yeah. Don't let the rapper fool you, friend. Me and the First Order codage go way back. And if the price is right, I can rake you into old man Snook's boudoir.
No.
We got it covered.
And to finish it all up, they escape back to the Resistance empty-handed and too late. Now these are the major plot points for Finn's adventure. This side plot is riddled with failure after failure. I personally gained no satisfaction from Finn's plot, but the clincher is the MacGuffin that set it all in motion. As defined by Wikipedia, a MacGuffin is an object, device, or event that is necessary to the plot and the motivation of the characters, but is insignificant, unimportant, and irrelevant in itself. Now, this is the general consensus about what a MacGuffin is, but I agree with George Lucas, who said, the audience should care about the MacGuffin almost as much as the dueling heroes and villains on screen. The MacGuffin, in the case of Finn's Grand Adventure, is the Master Codebreaker, whom we actually never see, I don't think. I think this guy might have been the Codebreaker, but who knows. The hope of this Master Codebreaker pushes Finn into his side plot, because the Codebreaker should be able to disable the tracker. The thing is, we don't care. As an audience, we have no reason to care about the Codebreaker, especially because the First Order has plenty of fuel. Seriously, why don't they just hyperspeed in front of them and intercept the Resistance? Problem solved. This mechanical fact steals our emotional ties from Finn's plot. Now here's how to properly use a MacGuffin. First, the audience needs to care about the MacGuffin. If the audience doesn't care, then why are we watching? This can be done correctly several ways. You can make the MacGuffin a spunky little droid that carries the plans to the Death Star.
What mission? What are you talking about? I've just about had enough of you. Go that way. You'll be malfunctioning within a day, you nearsighted scrap pile.
Or you can make the MacGuffin an adorable baby that audience doesn't want to see hurt, as in Willow.
You gotta promise to feed her.
Come to daddy, little darling.
And keep her clean.
Absolutely.
For example, to some a magical sword may be an impressive weapon, but to others, maybe the sword's a symbol of rebellion, and people rally behind it. I don't know, I'm just making this example up. Second, the MacGuffin should mechanically change the plot because of its intrinsic nature, not just because that simply is the goal. In the first Avengers, the Tesseract was a potential power source for humans, but then its nature is revealed when it opens a portal to space where an alien army waits to attack.
Right. Army.
The MacGuffin should do something active, taking part in the character's development, like the One Ring, which is constantly trying to corrupt those around it and get back to Sauron.
Bring forth the ring, Frodo.
Now here's some essential things that you can do with a MacGuffin. You can destroy a MacGuffin, transport a MacGuffin, free a MacGuffin, protect a MacGuffin, rescue a MacGuffin, find a MacGuffin, fight over MacGuffin, create a MacGuffin, or capture MacGuffin, or you can eat a McMuffin. Now replace each of these with your choice of person, thing, or idea, and you've got the basis of a nice cliche plot. But then if you add some of the components I mentioned before, you can make the story more interesting. For instance, with Finn's grand adventure, the basis is find the MacGuffin, aka find the Master Codebreaker. Now what they could have done, they could have made the Master Codebreaker someone they knew. Maybe make it Finn's father, mother, or an older brother, or a younger sister. Or maybe you could even make it an old friend of Finn's. At the very least, they should have made the MacGuffin meaningful to Finn in a personal way, instead of sending him on a wild panther chase. Now, if they would have done this sequence right, Finn's grand adventure could have fleshed him out, made him more appealing, but instead we have a meaningless action sequence that nobody likes. And those are my thoughts on MacGuffins and The Last Jedi, and this sequence, the MacGuffin, is what ruined the movie. And those are my thoughts. Leave your comments below and like the video if you liked what I do, and if you don't like what I do, too bad. And that's it for me. Remember, it's not what you watch, but how you watch it that makes you a scholar. May the Force be with you. See that guy? That guy right there. That's me. If I were in Star Wars.